Good afternoon. My thesis is a really simple idea. Over 5% of all babies born worldwide will need a significant amount of help to start breathing after birth. Now, this is a huge problem. More about that in a minute. The photograph behind me is taken 30 seconds after the sick baby girl was born. My team and I are trying to help her breathe. Currently, all international guidelines state that if a baby doesn't breathe after birth, my first step is to cut the umbilical cord and take the baby to a warming bed where I try to help her breathe by pushing air into her lungs. Ideally, this should take about a minute, but often it takes much longer than that. So, my first step to help this baby breathe is to separate her from the life-sustaining placenta that has provided her oxygen for the past 9 months. Immediately after birth, the placenta is still working just fine to give her oxygen, and 1 minute is a long time to ask her to hold her breath, at a minimum. So now, I want you to hold your breath while I tell you how significant of a problem this truly is. So on the count of 3, hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, go. There are 300,000 babies born every day, which means that over 17,000 babies will need help breathing after birth every day. That's more than 36 babies during my presentation. Now, failing to breathe after birth will kill over 800,000 babies every year. That's more than 4 babies dying during each 3-minute presentation we hear today. Most of the babies who die are born in poor countries, and most of those babies are born at full term and otherwise are completely healthy. This is a huge problem, but there is hope. Okay, you guys can breathe now. So that was less than a minute, and it's hard to concentrate on what I'm saying while you're holding your breath, right? Now, what if you were connected to some sort of device that gave you oxygen while you weren't breathing? What if she was still connected to her placenta and receiving oxygen while I was trying to help her breathe? So instead of taking her to the warming bed, I just bring the equipment I need to help her breathe to her. This idea is called physiologic-based cord clamping. It's simple, it's free, and it takes advantage of the most important resource I may have to help a baby breathe, the placenta. And this is a resource that's readily available in the poorest countries where the needs are greatest. So the focus of my PhD is to study and to test physiologic-based cord clamping. Now last year, I showed that in an animal model, this is a much better approach in newborn lambs. This year, I'm ready to take this idea to the test in a randomized controlled trial enrolling our sickest babies born right here in Melbourne who need help breathing after birth. Now, if I can show that it's better to help a baby breathe while it is still attached to the placenta, I may be able to change international guidelines and reduce the number of babies that are dying needlessly worldwide. Thank you.